Levack and Goz here, day 3 of this experiment we call non-terrestrial, or should we? You know what? Extraterrestrial. How's that? We're like
Ooh,
ET.
I
Yeah,
like it.
yeah,
I,
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I have to
LG and
be,
ET.
I have to be honest with you, Levack. I am still getting used to the cameras. Your camera is fantastic. You have, dare I reference the late John Clayton right now? Like the backdrop is fantastic. For those who aren't watching, those are just audio only. Levack is showing off his AI camera he's got, which is absolutely awesome. I forgot about us being on camera because I went like this, like a Howard Dean, and I showed my wrist. I did not go to the hospital. I am not
What's
sick
going
in
on
any
there?
way. I went to a public pool today, and kids,
And now you have to go to a hospital. Look at it. Isn't it? It's weird how that works.
kids who are under 5 got in free, and everybody over 60 got in free. So it was just Rex and I who had to pay. They're like, everybody who's paying has to put one of these on. I thought, boy, I feel like everybody who's in the whatever, it's your guys' pool. Do what you want. So I'm fine, by the way, before the social media sleuths try to say, why is Goz wearing a white wristband?
I would be interested if people cared enough to notice that. You know what I mean? Like those are always the things that like always, they always freak me out. Like Corey from Greenwich would be like, Levack looks paler than normal. It's like, wait, how do you? Where are you? Why do you see me? So yeah, there's that. But all right, it's not really the big Cinco, but it kind of is the big Cinco. We're just going to run through today's headlines. I have Flock University tonight with head coach Damon Ware. Normally, Goz would grill the living pee out of me, but I feel like you've been doing that already, so I don't even know if you have questions left for that. But let's get this bad boy rolling, Goz. How would you like to begin today's show?
Oh, don't you worry. We're getting Firebird questions here. Are you kidding me? That's how this baby is going to end. I'll warm you up before you head off to the other show. Let's talk about Brendan Sorsby here to lead off today's show. Are you annoyed by Brendan Sorsby talk yet? If you've missed it, the NCAA has sent a letter of inquiry to Cincinnati, wondering, hey, what was Sorsby up to while he was over there, by the way? Sorsby has been ruled permanently ineligible by the NCAA over the thousands of bets he placed over 4 seasons. Hey, wait a second. Didn't he place those bets at Indiana? And didn't he try to play Texas Tech? Hey, there was a college in between Indiana and Texas Tech. How come Cincinnati didn't suspend him? How come Cincinnati? Huh. Now, a lot of Texas Tech, as some have noticed, are being the ones who are crying foul. There's a clip going viral involving a Big 12 reporter going at the Big 12 commissioner being like, how come Cincinnati didn't get penalized? Levack, do you care? Should people care? Is this a sibling thing of yell at so-and-so? My older mom and dad, you should punish that. What do you make of the Sorsby stuff that's making headlines nationally today?
I mean, I think that if you're tired of Sorsby now, just be ready to be more tired of Sorsby, because I don't think the goal of his people were for negative stories or potentially negative stories to be what, we talked about when we talked about their client. But I think their goal is 100% to keep him in the public eye, because we said this forever ago. You pointed out how many times we go into a college football season and we're like, Cade Klubnik is going to be the guy. Arch Manning is the guy. This guy, and all of a sudden it's Fernando Mendoza and Trinidad Chambliss. So like the fact that they're not going to be able to show you him playing in real competitive college football leading up to the NFL draft, a year from now, they're going to do whatever they can to keep him in the zeitgeist of the minds of the fans. So I don't think there'll always be these stories, but get ready to watch this dude plant trees on Arbor Day, read to orphans, show up at WWE events. Brandon Sorsby is going to be every freaking where.
The rats are out is what it is. He is going to do a lot of appearances. He's going to become more popular. I'm still convinced, and you're hinting at that a little bit, he might get better or worse throughout the college football season, because there is a focus on quarterbacks and who we hype up in the preseason, who lives up to the hype. There are rats out there. By rats, I mean not the Nick Saban rat of drinking rat poison when your team is good. I'm talking about people wanted Texas Tech to fail. College football is a competitive environment with more millions of dollars in it than ever before. Someone went digging on Sorsby, and that's why he's out. They didn't care about Cincinnati. They didn't. Why would I care about what happened in Cincinnati when I want Texas Tech to fail? And all of a sudden, Texas Tech wanted somebody to blame and be like, hey, if we knew about this stuff with Sorsby at Cincinnati, we probably wouldn't have brought him in. We would have brought in somebody else. And that's a fair and honest take. So I'm sure they are a little bitter towards Cincinnati because they felt like that. Now, for those who may not know this, and I will offer as many details as we probably can in this, Capital Region sports fans will remember there was a certain player for the U Albany men's basketball team this past season who might have been their best player who never got on the court. And allegedly, as the season went on, we kept hearing rumblings like, yeah, he's getting investigated. He's getting investigated. He's getting investigated. And we never felt comfortable enough going to the air with it. Still to this day, I'd be like, go do your own research on that kid. Eventually the reports came out of why he couldn't play, but you got to be very careful of swinging around. Well, this kid bet on this, that, or the other thing. Cause I don't know. I don't have his FanDuel, DraftKings, whatever sportsbook account. I am annoyed by it, by the way. We got it. The guy bet on his own team. We got it, everybody. We saw one of the dumbest quotes in sports history to say he wanted to feel more connected to his team. We saw the judge let him play. We saw we're good. The story's over. The only thing that's left is what you're talking about. Social media appearances where he can make some money on, I don't know, going viral. And I guess people like us now, the non-traditional media, traditional media people talking about this kid.
Well, everybody's going to pick the bones on that as much as they can. I mean, listen, I would start a bingo card of what, like maybe a tally sheet, maybe a bingo card's wrong. Who's going to get more, skeletons popping out of the closet? Like instead of doing a dead pool, do a beat to death story pool, like Brandon Sorsby, Diana Rossini, and then I throw Pete Rose in there just because every time Pete Rose's name comes up, somebody releases something else about Pete Rose we didn't know before. It's like the reverse of 8 Mile. You just tell me something I didn't know about me. Here, how about this? And there's always something. So it's not going away. Get used to it. Maybe start a nice drinking game out of it. Every time somebody releases a new Sorsby story, take a shot, and the world will be a drunker and more Ubered place.
Why did that turn into John? Is that John Lennon at the end? In the world, what is it?
It's like the
happens.
The end of it's the end of Scrooge, and the world will be a better place than the world anymore, and we'll get demonetized. So no, I'm sorry. That's all. I know you're
very happy that as I've gotten older and older, I find myself watching Scrooge more and more.
It's great.
I've embraced the greatness that is that movie as I've aged. It's fantastic.
They're going to remake. Oh God, it's not even August yet. I'm talking about Christmas movies. They remake Scrooge every 3 years. That's my favorite Scrooge remake. Like there's Shakespeare said there's only 7 original stories. Apparently Scrooge is one of them, but Scrooged is the best of the lot. And I will fight anyone who tries to deny it.
We move on to a soon-to-be Hall of Fame pitcher finally calling it quits, and that is Justin Verlander. Justin Verlander, 3-time Cy Young Award winner. Justin Verlander still married to Kate Upton, 10-time All-Star, MVP, 266 career wins and counting, over 3,000 strikeouts in 20-plus seasons. 43 years old. He is the oldest player in Major League Baseball. I'll reference this because I almost mention this every time Justin Verlander's picked. 10 years ago-ish, like 2016, 2017, I thought Justin Verlander was going to call it a career right around the World Series. I think it was 2017 World Series. And ESPN's Buster Olney said, guys, I know Justin Verlander very well. I don't know if you know him at all. He will be dragged off of that mound. This is what this guy does. He will pitch until his 40s and will pitch till his arm falls off. And sure enough, he did. Levack, what do you make of the news that he's going to retire at the end of the season? And is he one of, if not the best pitchers in baseball the last 25 years?
It's so funny. You've hated this guy for so long, and I'm not even sure why. You've been ready for him to hang up the cleats for so long. Everything's coming up Goz today. You're having an absolute renaissance as far as sports people you hate in sports. Either hanging it up or getting into something they shouldn't get into. So I just, good for him. I have to be perfectly honest with you. If I had millions of dollars in the bank and Kate Upton at home, I would be at home. I would be where Kate Upton was. Like there's There's an old saying one of my friends used to say, no matter how hot a woman is, someone's tired of banging her. I don't think that would be possible with Kate Upton. I don't.
I feel honest, I got caught off guard there in this new world that's non-radio. I was like, you can't. Oh yeah, you can't say that now. Yeah, you're.
I did. Listen, he used the F word. I used the B word. So I did clean it up a little bit for the Levack and Goz. So just in case Matthew, Bob, and the family are in the car, I didn't say the F.
That's right. That'll be a rule on the show. If we're going to swear for anybody, yes, a lot of people on the afternoon drive would listen with their families. So yeah, we'll give you a quick swear warning. And we didn't do it there.
I can't promise that. I can't.
Okay.
It's called a fleeting expletive, guys. I can't promise it. If I swear, it'll be. If there's a microphone in front of me, I don't swear. The problem with this is I'm not using the microphone because my home system is honestly better than any radio system that we've ever been a part of. I was at an event earlier today, and there was a radio station there that we've never been affiliated with, and they didn't have the right equipment. And I was like, I have better stuff in my truck. If you want, I will go get it and set it up for you, and then I'll just bill you like $100 so that I feel better about the world. I can't do freebies anymore. And they didn't want me to embarrass them, so I kept my equipment in the truck. But no microphone. I could swear. Like I'll try not to, but it's possible.
We did a lot of industry talk on yesterday's show. That I have a follow-up for you off there, because I was peppering you at 8:45 in the morning this morning with radio industry sports media news. So that stuff is off the air today because there's too many people that I'll just get off that topic and wait till we end this episode. I'm going to fire off some names here. 2001, and I know I'm splitting hairs here a little bit. Here are probably the best pitchers of the last 25 years from 2001. Mariano Rivera, Clayton Kershaw. That hurts me a little bit. Clayton Kershaw, Mariano Rivera, Verlander. I'm just putting them in any particular order. Just naming the guys here. Rivera, Kershaw, Verlander, Scherzer, CC, Sale. I think when you get to guys like Randy Johnson and Pedro, that's more than 90s. So Roy Halladay's probably in that mix, but gosh, it felt like we didn't get enough out of Roy Halladay. He's in the, you know what? It's probably him and Scherzer and Rivera. And then you think what the people are going to hate on Rivera is that he was a closer, but I guess if we did just starting pitchers, it's Scherzer or Verlander to me of the last 25 years. We'll call them the post 1990s decade. It's those guys as the best pitchers that I would take of anybody the last 25 years.
Verlander gets the nod over a lot of people. And I think one of the reasons that I will give Verlander the nod is Verlander was on pitching rotations with Garrett Cole and and Scherzer and all these like great pitchers, and he was the ace. And then he reinvented himself down in Houston. And I know somebody's going to say spider tack or whatever, but a lot of people went through there and couldn't do what he did. So, and then when they cracked down on spider tack, he was still a winning pitcher. So, you can make an argument. I don't feel the need to quantify people as the greatest of all time or the biggest game or the way you do, but I wouldn't fight you as much as I probably normally would on this. And it does kind of surprise me when I realize just how good the guy really, really was.
There's things called Hall of Fame monitor, Jaws leaders, WAR leaders. Someday we'll pull, who, War Pig back. We'll call him. I'm sure he's depressed and crank out some numbers with War Pig, but very, very good pitcher.
He's cranking something out.
Maybe that'll be a new podcast under Godzilla or whatever the next few weeks looks like. Quantifying with Goz, where he'll quickly label anything. Sports figures, athletes, Cowherd's one of my favorite ESPN radio commercials of all time, where Colin Cowherd's out sipping a coffee and he's looking at dogs. He's like, dependable, but can you really rely on him when it matters the most? He's criticizing and labeling them, quantifying the animals on the street. That's me. We move on to the New York Yankees. The New York Yankees are striking out at a historic pace. Back-to-back 17 strikeout performances by your Yankees. The guy who's been fascinating me the most, and welcome to the world of an algorithm, Sal Mariano, some of you know that voice, Rochester, New York's own Democrat and Chronicle out there. We would have Sal on occasionally, but we kind of knew what we were going to get out of Sal. He was going to scream about the Yankees and act like it's the burning of the Bronx, or he would show up unshaven, a few, maybe too many from the night before, untucked shirt and cover the bills. I enjoy him. I like him. I'm a fan of him. I think he does a great job. Sal's one of them. But Levack, this feels like a meltdown cell type of game. How are you feeling watching your Yankees swing and miss as if swinging and striking out like if Jordan never dated me 20 years ago? If you were back at Colony Little League, that's how bad the strikeouts were.
Yeah, I couldn't watch a lot of that game last night. Like it's disappointing. It's funny because with how much life has changed, how much we've changed, the things we've been doing, as much as you would complain about certain athletes and certain things over and over again, my number one issue with the Yankees for the last 12 years has been runners in scoring position. The RISP. They suck. You got a guy gets second base, all of a sudden they're holding the bat backwards. They're holding the barrel instead of the handle. They suck. Now they just suck. They just can't hit. And I feel like part of it is what I said yesterday. If you didn't go and listen, you can. It's up, Spotify. It's all over. It's on YouTube. I think some of them are waiting for the cavalry. Like I think they're like, well, Judge is going to be back, mid to late August, hopefully. We're going to get Fried back. We're going to get Stanton. They're monitoring the situation with Stanton. I don't know what that means. Whatever. It's almost like they're just like, it's okay because we're the Yankees. We'll turn it on when we need to. We'll do what the Knicks did. And that is so extremely frustrating as a Knicks fan. And I'm obviously it's not the Mets. What did the Mets lose 75-12 last night after having a 6 or 7 run lead? Is that
yes,
it's not that, but it's I'm not opposed to not a rebuild, maybe an overhaul, maybe a reconditioning. That's what I'm not opposed to, a reconditioning at the trade deadline in the offseason, bringing in guys who take the game a little more seriously than Jazz Chisholm Jr. and some of these other young guys who don't seem to be dialed in nearly as much. Derek Jeter would be backhanding dudes in the locker room in the dugout right now.
Atlanta of the late 2010s, early 2020s, the Dodgers, I guess the Nationals, if I want to go further back 10 years, and the Rays have consistently done it. What's happened with these teams, and it bothered me so much, and you know this for years, it bothered me that teams were trying to ruin baseball because they would trot out 8 different pitchers in a 9-inning game, and the game was getting close to 4 hours, and one guy would do one hitter, and then another guy would come in. It'd be 20 minutes between the next. Some of that changed, obviously, post-COVID and pre-COVID, like the pitch clocks here. Baseball is way more exciting to watch and everything else. But gosh, before that, teams like the Rays were trying to ruin baseball, and I really couldn't stand them. Now that the rules have changed, I got to get with the Rays. Like, they're not as talented as the Yankees. They aren't. They probably haven't been in 20, 30 years since they
spend a fraction of what they spend.
And exactly right. And what they do is they say, we're just going to get flamethrowers. We're going to get guys you can't touch. We're going to get these arms that no one's heard of that we're going to find, and they're going to strike out everybody. Milwaukee is trying to do that, and it didn't work against the Dodgers, but that's what the Rays are. 17 consecutive games, 2 straight with 17, and a Yankee offense that's they got hitters. They're not showing up, but I got to give the Rays credit. That's how they're going to win games. The new style of baseball is going to work. And if someone says we've got a roster and guys aren't going to get runs off of us, why aren't we going to trot out these arms? Gosh, what has happened to me? I cannot believe I'm giving credit to the Rays because that's the system they have to work with. Yeah, but the Yankees could have done the same thing, Levack, right? If Boone threw out 7 different arms and the Yankees could do like the Dodgers did 2 years ago against them and just have a closer in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, Cashman just didn't want to do it. They're struggling to find a closer, let alone 3 closers.
No, but they did it last year. Remember, they brought in
Devin Williams,
6 freaking closers.
Right, they did. But you're right.
But none of them were any. Bednar was the best of the group, but
Devin Williams needed to have a beard, and he stunk. And our guy, what's tight pants guy who I'm blanking on there, the skinny kid there who, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name right now. But they had a bunch of 3 guys who, you're exactly right, it just didn't work out as well.
Yeah, it's always interesting to me, and I've been having this conversation in the world of arena football lately. You see coaches, general managers, people like the Mets are seeing this right now, where it's like, look what I did without the resources of the Yankees. Stearns a fraction of the resources with the Brewers that he has with the Mets. The Brewers are still benefiting off the farm system that he was part of putting together. Then they get the resources and they can't do it. They can't get the ball over the end zone. They can't get it. Like I literally have had that conversation with I'll just say there's teams that might be coming into the league that I've been friends with people behind the scenes of. And they're like, hey, what if we hire this guy because we can give him resources he didn't have in other places? And I'm like, love it. I think it's a great idea. However, giving somebody who's able to make goulash the checkbook to put together prime rib doesn't mean they know how to cook prime rib. You know what I mean? Like just throwing money at a problem works when you know how and where to throw the money.
That's exactly right. And by the way, the guy who wore the tight pants, his name is Luke Weaver.
Oh, yeah. Luke Weaver. Right. That's right. Yeah.
That's right. All right. Hopefully the Yankees don't strike out 17 times again. That was pretty bad.
I will today at Rivers. I probably will.
Don't worry. I'm gonna get some Firebird talk coming up. Story number 4. My guy Kiyan Anthony. A story out locally today involving Kiyan Anthony, of course, the son of Carmelo Anthony. He played his freshman season at Syracuse last year. And now a story from Syracuse.com talking about what Kiyan Anthony's offseason looked like. First of all, if you haven't seen Kiyan Anthony, he does not look like the same person. The rumors of him putting on 10 or 15 pounds of muscle is absolutely true. He looked like a boy last year, like a young kid. He is a grown man over this offseason. That looks like young Carmelo. But he mentioned to Syracuse.com about what his future looked like. He said this, quote, honestly, I feel like if anybody else got the job who wasn't Jerry McNamara, I probably would have transferred. Obviously, I've known McNamara since I was 4 or 5 years old. So, it's a different connection than any other coach you'll get. Schools reached out. I flew back the next day to talk to Coach McNamara. A lot of schools wanted me, everything, but I wanted to meet with GMAC first. Like, this is the son of a guy whose name is on the building in Central New York, but he's coming back to Central New York. He's going to play for, we can do this, the former Siena Saints head coach and obviously the former Syracuse player. What do you make of this story of Kiyan Anthony almost leaving Syracuse?
I hate college sports. They've efficiently and effectively ruined college sports. Because when you say a star player is or did or was about to leave a school, I'm just like, of course they are. We just talked about this. You guys, Syracuse for football. We got 5-star top recruit running backs, and they may never play. Like, they've committed to Syracuse, but they may play somewhere else. They may play one season with Syracuse and then jump to Alabama. They may, that's just college sports right now. The one caveat, the one difference I'll give to this one is the coach changed. You know what I mean? So if you're Kiyan Anthony and you came to play for Red and Red's out, even though he didn't do a great job, then I don't really blame you for at least keeping your options open and getting out of there. Because let's say they bring in, Tom Thibodeau, and all of a sudden, I'm just saying that name because of the style of coaching. All of a sudden, you're getting run into the ground instead of showcasing your talent as part of a 11 to 12 man roster, and you maybe don't go very high in the draft because of it. You don't win a championship because of it. That is the one time I'll be like, dude, if you want to go, the coach left, the program's different. That makes complete sense. But if you told me Kiyan Anthony wanted to leave because he decided the color orange didn't look good with his eyes, I wouldn't even be shocked anymore. That's how crappy college sports has got.
I also would have been a little discouraged if he left for the money. It's his family's money compared to his money. He is a grown man. He can make his own money if you want to leave for the money. I'm thrilled that he's staying. I agree with a lot of stuff you said there. College sports is different. The coach is different. He didn't sign up for that. He had multiple teammates who left because of that. I'm a fan of Kiyan Anthony. I believe he's going to have a huge year for Syracuse. We have to remember there are a few guards in college basketball who are first years who actually play in Power Fours now because of the portal. A lot of coaches won't even recruit 18-year-olds anymore. They'd rather have 21 and 22-year-olds who are proven than an 18-year-old. I know he's going to have a good season this year because of the offseason work he put in, because of all those things. I become a fan of Kiyan because covering the team last year and hopefully this year again for Roundtable Sports, always there in the locker room. College sports, Syracuse fan doesn't get this. They don't have access like that in the media. Levack and I have covered Albany, said a bunch of college. It's usually a, hey, can I talk to this college kid after the game? And they get pulled out of the locker room. And a lot of pro teams do that. They have an open locker room like it's the NBA for a bunch of teenagers. Kiyan Anthony always there, always waiting for the media, answering every single question like a pro and handled it the right way. It also sucked when he came off the bench last year because we've watched in basketball, hey, if you're going to get a guy off the bench, you might be a good defender. You might be a shot blocker. You might be a really good shooter. But when they say, hey, Carmelo's kid, we need you to come off the bench, everybody in the building from JMA Wireless Dome to Boston College to Dallas says, hey, Seven's out here to shoot. Oh, you think? You think Carmelo's kid's out here to pass? So I felt for him because that's not a great game plan for the poor freshman. Everyone knows your job is to get to the basket and you're out-muscled by everybody. So the muscle's better. The coach hopefully is better. He's hopefully better. I'm a fan of Kiyan. I hope he has a great year.
Well, I know you're a fan of Kiyan. You're a fan of your favorite basketball player's son who plays for your favorite college basketball team. I feel enlightened. I learned something today. I did. I'm ready now. I'm different. I've experienced. My eyes are open.
Did you mention my favorite athlete's coaching the team? That's in there too.
Right. I'm sorry. Your second favorite basketball player's son, who is now playing for your favorite basketball player. At your favorite college that you actually have somehow finagled your way into getting paid to cover. I am aghast. Oh, I've got the vapors. Oh.
Just for that, we're going to the Albany Firebird coaches. So now you're getting peppered for your sarcasm and all the water is wet, the sky is blue, and I'm rooting for Syracuse and Kiyan. Let's talk about tonight's Albany Firebird coaches show. A little different question to lead this off tonight. Are you allowed to just speak of what happened with Vice and Coach Arbet? Very rare, Levack, and I know you were technically a Vice HTN conversation here. It's rare in 2026 when an opposing coach does media hits with people in the opposing market the week of a game. You did get to speak to Coach Arbet, though, before kickoff. What, if at all, can you share with us about that conversation?
Well, I mean, to be fair, I do wear multiple hats in this league. I do, but my day to day, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, day to day, I probably do more for the league than I do for the team. Matt Woods does so much in the office. Coach Ware does so much with player personnel and stuff. Like I do more. I'm on more calls with Jerry Kurz, Gary Compton, Chris McEwen, Jared DeGroff than I am with Matt Woods and Mike Korda and Damon Ware. Like that's just the truth of it. They do still do the, I will say, I put this down. I didn't leave this up for yesterday's, out of respect, you're getting ready to play the Firebirds and
audio audience. He's pointing the Firebird logo. He took that off during the interview. Yeah.
I have a Firebirds on air sign that I put out that my buddy, my other buddy, Tom, made for me. But there is like an awkward moment where he's awesome. Like he answered every question and he's so succinct and he's so like just honest and to the point that I ran out of questions in like 3 minutes. Like he answered everything I came into the conversation with in 3 minutes. But luckily, like he said some things that spurred other questions. And the guys at HTN said it's the best halftime interview we've done yet. So, but really nice guy. He's done so much. His coaching tree is insane. I think it's going to be some, forget that you're a Firebird fan when you watch it. Just be a football fan and know that the AF1's better because Darren Arbet is coaching in it.
It's going to be an awesome game. Awesome coach. There's respect between Coach Ware and Coach Arbet and everything. Both of them. Arbet
does say you guys a lot to me. Like he does, like when he's talking about Albany, he's like, you guys know you're the champions. I'm like, my Firebird sign was down. I wasn't holding the Firebird hammer. I don't even think he could see my championship rings. Like, I did everything I could to be AF1. And then after the interview was over, I went to him, I go, hey, look, just like, so I'm an AF1 guy today. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to be very clear that like, I'm not taking this interview and sending it to Coach Ware so that he can see what you said. And, whatever. And he goes, and I'm like, not that he said anything. I go, he goes, man, you do a great job wearing multiple hats. We really appreciate you. We're happy to have you. I was honored to be on the show. I was like, I was about to say the exact same thing to you. So very cool. Good dude, man. Very dude. I hope he loses by 25 on Saturday, but he's a very good dude.
I'm glad the week got started right for you, because as good as that conversation was with the coach, I have a prediction to make about tonight's Flock U show. I feel like from a content perspective, and maybe I'll be wrong, I'll ask you this question. I feel like it's going to be very frustrating for you. Look, anything can be frustrating, right? When you're hosting a coach's show, whether it's the crowd who at times might frustrate you, sometimes a connection, sometimes a self-evaluation on the fly. You might be doing a show and after you're like, oh, I wish I would ask this. I feel like you're going to get very frustrated tonight. Whether we're going to see it on camera or not is another question. But I'm saying that because I don't know if we're going to get the answers out of Sam Castanova or DB3 or Isaiah Scott. Take me through it. Give me a little preview to the preview. Are you going to go one by one with the players? Is Coach Ware, you think, just going to give a rant about that? Are we going to get what you want? And I might jump in the gun here. Maybe you won't be as frustrated as I think.
I mean, you forget I know the answers. So
it's like Roddy Piper. Just when you think you got the answers, guys, I start changing the question. I'm 3 steps behind here.
There's always gamesmanship to what we do. We literally every Flock U we do roster update. Like it's one of the topics that's there every week. Last year it was the most boring topic in the freaking world, because we had 19 guys out of a 25-man roster. We had 19 guys that were every single week. So a 21-man active roster, 19 of that 21 was there every single week. So roster, some weeks I would go, all right, coach, time for roster updates. And he would go, we don't have one. And I'd be like, all right, let's go to questions from the flock. But this year's been way different. Like, we've had all those injuries in the secondary, all those injuries with the wide receivers. We've had the kicking game has been, crazy. So we will go to roster updates. Coach will say what he wants to say, what he's allowed to say. He's pretty transparent. And the one thing I will both, I say this not as a challenge, because I know some of you jackasses will take this as a challenge. The word always gets back to him when you go online and go, we should do this and we should do that and we should do it. Not like one person, but like let's say 20 people posted, hey, why didn't Sam Castronova travel to Beaumont? And the question, he's always like, okay, we'll just answer the question. But the people are like, this is stupid. This is blah, blah, blah. Even though we've lost 2 games in 2 years and had an undefeated championship, people will question the man like that. Those things, a couple of times in the history of Flock University, right before I turn the camera on, right before I turn the mics on, Ware will look at me and go, I'm effing pissed. I'm coming for somebody today.
Oh my God.
And he does. And it ain't hard to find him. People always say, it's always seemed to be the ones at IHOP. Like so many people have said, I love the IHOP ones, not just because we can eat pancakes, but because it's spicy. But we're at Rivers today. And I have a feeling he's going to give information. But I know for a fact he's not going to give anything away that he thinks gives Nashville any kind of insight into what he's doing.
That shocks me because, look, Coach Ware better than I do. You just have worked with him, more hours with him, everything else. It shocks me because, this is me just maybe reading too many headlines, doing sports media for too long, being sports fans for too long. Maybe I've believed when I hear a coach saying, I don't read the newspaper clippings.
No,
I don't read.
He doesn't.
And that's what's confusing. I don't get, not newspaper clippings in general, but so people tell him is what you're saying. Yes. He doesn't care, but people get in his ear and say, did you hear what so-and-so said? Did you hear what?
Yes.
Why are they doing that? Why would they do that? Is that awareness? They think
they think they're helping it. Like I learned a long time ago, because I literally, with some of the things that are going on in our world, I get all the, I just stop answering. Like, you know what I mean? I'm never going to be able to give you the answer you want. Even if I told you exactly what was happening, you're still going to be ticked off because it's not what you think should happen. So I've stopped answering. And when I was in the office every day, a lot of the people who are now going right, to him, right to Matt Woods, right to everybody, they used to come to me and I'd be like, I'll talk to coach. And then I wouldn't, you know what I mean? And I wouldn't. And every once in a while, where it would be like, hey, dude, I'm a big boy. You can tell me what's going on. And I'll tell you what's going on if it matters. You know what I mean? But no, people he can't ignore come to him. I know it. I haven't seen it. I haven't heard it, but there's no other reason he would know the things that he knows. And I know who you are, and leave that man alone. He's busy.
I'm so conflicted about that because there's one part of me, I have to fully admit, there's one part of me that loves that. Yep. Because you're my friend and I want you to have a great show. And that stuff makes a great show. So I'm compelled to root for storylines as someone who talks about sports. Really, it makes our job, and in particular this show, easier. And more people will tune in when we have stuff like that. But there's another side of me, the human side of me, the person who works in some ways with coach, to be like, well, you're not doing anything good. I know the intention is probably, hey, I want to raise your awareness level of what people perceive of you online, but that does nothing for them. All it does is fire them up and be like, so-and-so said that you're in a coaching, and I know he knows this. You're in a coaching profession. You're going to get criticized. People who have the new term I like is public facing. People who have public facing jobs will be criticized.
Right.
I had this happen to, I'll share this story. I don't even know if you know the story. Somebody we used to work with, like, I know their intentions were really good. They're like, hey, did you see what so-and-so's talking about you online about? And I'm like, why would I care? They're like, no, you got to see it. And I'm like, listen, I don't care. I'm like, if it's something negative that I work with, and unless it's like super personal, I would rather they do it on the air, to be honest, because then I can make content for me.
What did I say about you?
It wasn't you. It wasn't you. But I'm just like, I know your intention is to do what? Start something. Like, this is a part of the gig. That's what they do for a living.
Who's talking smack. I want to know. You said what?
Do you really want to know?
Yeah. I like when I'm not the drama for a change.
There was a I think Rachel Davis put out like a TikTok of one time, this is a little too inside baseball, but like sometimes we had to share the studio. Yeah. And sometimes they wouldn't tell us, hey, a client's here. Can you switch a studio? And she got like super pissed at me and like said, like, when you get kicked out of the studio by your boss. And I'm like, why would I care? Why would I care she made a TikTok about? Do you think I will? So the person told me, I'm like, why do I stop? What do you want me to do? Yell at her tomorrow? She's kind of right. She's kind of right. Yeah. She didn't know she was getting kicked out. I didn't know she was getting kicked out. But you tell me the best way to handle this, Rachel. What else should I have done? No, sit there. Make the client wait outside who's paying to take the studio time because nobody told us they were coming. So I'm like, what? So that's it. So it's like, all right. That's a little friendly fire. As much as you and I like to have fun with people when we were on a radio set, we'd talk smack or have fun. It was always competition. Rarely friendly fire people in your same building.
Yeah. I love that kind of stuff. I think she's one of my favorite people that we've got that small window to work with, but she's a little cray. She knows it. A little cray. But all right, what else you got, man? I got to leave. I got to go. I got to get over.
I think that's basically it. I don't know if there's anything else. The playoff scenario one more time is for Albany to be the top seed. They have to win by more than 10.
10 or more. Yep. 10 or more. We're trailing by 9 points, so we need to win by 10 or more. We win by 5. We're still the 2 seed. As of right now, we know, what we do know is we had a first round bye. We're guaranteed no lower than the 2. So the first weekend in August would be the first playoff game we would have to play in the semifinals. And then the Arena Crown would be August 8th or August 9th that weekend. And hopefully, regardless of where it's played, we're in it. And hopefully it's at the MVP Arena so we can all go and have fun and be cray-cray.
Hang on, let me just walk this through for you. So again, the Firebirds' final regular season scheduled game is July 11th. The final action scheduled for AF1 football's regular season is July 18th. Round 1 of the postseason, which would involve teams seeded 3 through 6 and 4 through 5, would be July 25th. The semifinals would be the first weekend of August. and there's no bye week in between the championship, Arena Crown is the weekend of the 8th and the 9th. Okay.
Correct. And that would all, and whether it's the 8th or the 9th would depend on which one of the 6 teams, well, which one of the 5 teams would be hosting it.
I just don't know if this rule changed, and this is a very specific Arena Football League question. There's no locked-in playoff rosters. You know, in baseball, you have to lock in a roster.
They do. They lock. They do lock them soon. It was.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I was in a conversation. Basically, so you can't have that fantasy football rule where everybody dumps everybody.
Yes.
Gary Compton said it to me yesterday, and I can't remember. It's usually a coach communication. Like they don't do it. We don't put out like an email or a post that says these are the rosters. But like at any time you can sign someone off the street. Like if at any time if someone has not played on an AF1 roster in a certain number of weeks, you could sign them regardless. So, because I mean, can you imagine like because there were leagues that we've been a part of, or at least I've been aware of, where they didn't do rules like that, and teams would get in with like the lowest seed or the highest seed, I probably should say. And then they would just grab all the other teams that were out's best players, then pay them through the nose, and then go and make a run at a championship. Like it's crazy.
I'm thinking I'm getting my years confused here, but I know you're a part of a team in Georgia, but it was the Carolina Columbus. You were a part of Columbus, the Lions, but it was the Carolina Cobras who tried pulling that move with Malachi Jones and Tommy Grady, but somebody got hurt, right?
Yeah,
am I misremembering that? Okay.
Right before the deadline, they brought in Grady, Jones, Joe Powers. Was it Joe Powers? I can't remember the wide receiver who was here. The great wide receiver was here.
Not Powell, Powell?
Is it? I can't remember now. I can't remember. Wow, that's bad. I can see his face. Like I can see him. I think he's a cop in Florida now.
No, it is Joe Powell. Yeah.
It was Joe Powell. Okay, all right, yeah. Because I always think of the guy who's playing now, who's the defensive back.
He never played for Albany. I could have sworn there was a guy who played for Albany, but there was a Carolina Cobras signing of Joe Powell in 2024. All right, so maybe it's not him. This is really confused. But anyways, we get the point.
I'll figure it out. But yeah, so they brought in Grady, and it was. There was a really dirty player on another team. He actually had hurt our kicker in Albany that year. Joe Hills is the name that I was looking for.
Hills, nice.
Joe Hills. The guy, I think he still has the longest active he's not active anymore, but the consecutive touchdowns in games. And the dirty player, I told everybody that I knew this guy, I knew what he was going to do. He was infamous for diving the gap right at the quarterback's ankles. And he did it every play. And Grady was coming back from an injury and he did it to Grady. And Grady only got to play like one game. It was the wrong thing to do. Like it was a dirty play, but that guy was a dirty player. And I don't know where I don't think he's definitely not in the AF1. I got to tell him he was a dirty player at one point. I got to tell him to his face, which was fun. I enjoyed that very much. That'll be in the book. The book's coming. The book's coming.
Sorry, I got startled there for a second. This is going to sound like a humble brag, but it's honest. You know how I was working on some research behind the scenes of like tracking numbers and podcasts and everything else? I added a new feature on how to track our stuff, and let's just say I got an email I'm very happy about.
Well, go ahead. No, do it.
No, whatever. I can't. I honestly can't. I'm going to send you a picture. Okay. Let's just say I should have been looking at a different platform for how the downloads and how big our audience was. Thank you to everybody who listens on Apple and iTunes. Let's put it like that.
Actually, like for those of you looking, you can see Goz pull his phone out and take a picture. You can see it. All right, hey, I gotta go over to Rivers. I'm gonna try and hit the slots and win money for the rest of the year, too, before the show. So you'll know if I'm really happy during Flock U tonight. It went well.
Good. Enjoy it, my friend.
Hey, Goz, can you do me a huge favor and hit the button?
Yes.